Welcome to my review of the Shozy Ceres or Ceres. I'm not quite sure pronunciation. Sorry for actually getting it wrong, but I think it's the Shozy Ceres, which is named after a Roman goddess, which is kind of cool. As usual, full disclaimer is I was sent these to review from Linsol, so thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video, and all thoughts and opinions are my own. And they are a hybrid, so it's a 1DD 1 balance armature per side, 2 pin I think it is, and yeah, let's see what they're actually like. So the packaging is quite understated. It's got like a really fine texture, nothing there, nothing there, nothing there, and nothing there. That's the brand Ceres or Ceres, I'm not sure the pronunciation. Somebody will probably know in the description. Not much there. Shozy here in between the notes, indeed. And before we get to that, I guess it's probably the tips and things like that are in here. So, quite a bit. So foams, really small black silicone tips, white foam tips, dual flange tips, so quite a bit, and that's all that's in there. So good that there's quite a variety of tips. Quite a small carry case, which is kind of cool. Kind of a material. And that's it. So not much with this packaging. Let's get one of these out. I've never tried anything from Shozy before. These are quite small shells. So quite a small nozzle. That looks pretty good. Look at that. Venting on the top. Quite a small shell in real life, not very big. 2 pin, which is quite good. You can just about see there, which is the dynamic. Yeah, kind of cool. And yeah, so in the next clip I'm going to open this up and have a look what it's like. It seems yeah, seems okay. So straight connector, 3.5, kind of got like grips there, which is kind of cool. Strain relief, cable seems quite good. It's kind of a gold tint. It might look a little bit more yellow on the camera, but it's actually more of a gold finish. So again, strain relief, kind of grip, chin slider here, which works okay actually. I've plugged it in so you can see what it's like. So obviously red's for right. That's what it looks like complete. I do like the finish. In real life it's a little bit lighter. On the camera this looks a little bit darker than real life. It's got the brand there, Shozy, and that's just what it looks like on its own. So ear hook from where my thumb is all the way around, and yeah, so 2 pin seems quite good. Maybe you only have to swap it if you're going balanced. Yeah, so actually on to the review. So yeah folks, finally on to the review part. Let's start off with isolation. It's probably a good point to start. His isolation was average at best, because at the top you can see the vents there, you can actually see right into the shell. So isolation was not the best, but it only comes in through the top. Everything else seems to be a kind of sealed unit. It's also in real life a little bit, the colours are actually lighter, so that's just a better close-up look. They do look really good in the flesh. They're not a big unit. The unit's not very big. Obviously 2 pin, which is good, because I'm not really keen on MM6. Just take one of these tips off so you can see what the nozzle's like. Obviously that's to right, but again they do look, if you can see in the camera, They do look good. But yeah, isolation was average, to say the least, obviously because they're not sealed units. If you want the best isolation, you want all BA items if you can. Well, sealed all BA items are the best. Soundstage and imaging was okay. Nothing, there wasn't bad, there wasn't amazing, and nothing like that. And again, let's go into the actual comfort and fitment. I found these actually quite comfortable, and they fitted me really well. I'm not sure what they've done with the design, but the actual there was very secure earphones in ear monitors, which is quite good. So you can move your head in different directions, and it keeps they are very secure. And that's unfortunately where the positive end. So the actual sound of the actual Shozy Ceres, if that's a correct pronunciation, is before that sensitivity and powering them very easy. I didn't have any issues. That wasn't super easy, but I had no real issues powering them. So sound. This is where unfortunately these they do fail. They are overly dark and bassy. Now, before this video, I did the Tin T2 Evos, which was overly bright with no low end really at all. These are the exact opposite of that. So they have a load of low end that bleeds into the mids, which only helps male vocals, and then these are overly dark, but I'll do it bit by bit. So obviously you can see I'm showing you a graph. So starting from like left to right on the graph, as you can see, there's sub bass roll off, and they got really thick mid bass that bleeds into the mids. The only benefit of that, it just helps male vocals a bit. There's no real mids to really talk about. As you can see, there's not much of it. There's a little bit of an elevation, but the mids are not really there. They're heavily recessed, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, the mid bass, as you can see, it's massively kind of boosted. It's a bit bloated. It doesn't sound as bloated as it looks, but it is a bit bloated. It doesn't sound massively bloated, but it is bloated. I don't know why they tuned it like that. Kind of fun sounding, but then you don't have the treble. But yeah, like female vocals aren't very good. They're really like pushback. Obviously, they're not exactly non-existent. They're just really far back in the mix. Male vocals are there. Again, depends on how deep the person's voice is. Again, for vocals, these are not very good. Then into the treble, it's like there's no treble at all. Again, I don't know why they actually tuned it like that. I don't know. So as you can see, there's a small peak at 2K. Even that's quite. It probably needs to be more of an elevation for your vocals to be there. Then it just drops off like a cliff. I don't know why. And then again, then it drops off even more. Then it peaks up at 8K, and there's a little peak next to it, so that's why it looks larger. Again, so apart from that peak, these would be incredibly dark to listen to, which is a shame. I don't know why they tuned it like that and then released it like that. I don't know. Maybe they was hoping that the actual, the price would have kind of help. Like the quotes, you get what you pay for type of thing, and the kind of looks. Because they do actually look really good for what they are. But for what you're paying, it's just simply they're not tuned good enough, which is a shame, really. But yeah, I'll go over the actual positives. So positives are imaging in stage is actually fine. The actual how they fit is fine. How they power is fine. And that's probably it, really. And that, obviously the accessories it comes with is okay. I've seen better accessories for less money, but whatever it comes in with is fine. And the cable, again, it seems to be fine. It's just the sound, which I'll just quickly go over again. It's far too dark. Too much bass bleed. Not enough mids, really. There's a little bit there. Not enough treble. So, like I said, exactly like the opposite of the Tin T2 Evos. Like they've got far too much treble. This is nowhere near enough. They don't have enough bass. This is probably too much. It's funny how like two videos and two products from two companies that are complete polar opposite of each other. But one positive again I'd say over these is they're easy to listen to. I had no issues with that at all. I tried it with a bunch of different genres. I had no issues listening to them, shall we say. There's no fatigue really. But I think that's pretty much it. So overly dark, overly bassy. It needs a bit of work considering there's an armature. It seems like it's not really doing much, which is a shame. And yeah, I think that might be pretty much it. Not much to say really. There's not much in the way of positives. They really need to do better for what you're paying for really. You know, it should actually have much more control low end really, and much more and better treble and better mids, because it's just kind of disappointing. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't really recommend these, and like the T2 Evos on the previous video, don't really recommend them either, even though they are kind of the opposite on the scale. And yeah, so thanks very much for watching, and take care.